Hello and welcome to Sound Bites. I'm your host, Holly Whitfield, here with Grind City founder and president, Hopper Seeley. Hi, Hopper.
Hi, Holly.
How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Great. Good to see you again.
Yes.
We are recording again this week on location at Grind City Brewing Company in Uptown at the brewery. We're sitting right here by the bar. We're looking out the big bay roll-up windows into the grounds, and you can see over there downtown and the pyramid. If you haven't been to Grind City in Uptown, that's what we're looking at now. But before we get into talking to Hopper more about this brewery's long history and what they've got planned for the next couple of years, it's going to be really exciting. I want to remind you that Soundbites is the Daily Memphian's weekly food and drink podcast. It's a part of our free podcast series. You can hear the newest episodes every week on WYXR Radio. Catch us Thursdays at 11 there, or listen to our extended interviews episodes on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You can even stream them right from your computer or phone. All those extended episodes at dailymemphian.com. If you subscribe, they come through your feed during the middle of the week. But if you go to dailymemphian.com, we have a new story out with pictures and other links to things that we talk about during the show on the website. If you are listening live on WYXR right now, keep on listening. We have our Daily Memphian CEOs podcast about arts and culture and what's going on in the Memphis area, The Sidebar. But let's get started with Hopper, like I said, president and founder of Grind City. I was looking at my phone before I came up here, and I have pictures before you guys opened, right when you sort of announced from 2018. I have you standing out here on the grounds.
Young and brave.
From when I came out to talk to you guys. Well, if people need a refresher, how was Grind City born?
Yeah.
Take us through the history, get us a little closer to today.
Yeah, so it all started when I was 13 years old. My father travels a lot for work. Mm-hmm. And he was trying to find an excuse to keep his punk middle school kid home on a Saturday to hang out with dad instead of going out and just doing something stupid, probably. Mm-hmm. So he was like, what if we made beer together? It worked so easy. I fell for it. And,
yes.
And next thing I know, I was always like, I wouldn't say I cheated through school, but I wouldn't deny it. Not my forte. I was always more about just playing and having fun and being a kid. And then making beer with my dad, I was like, oh, I actually really enjoy this. So I continued to make beer throughout high school.
You're like, this is low-key science.
Yeah, well, honestly, what's sad, what's actually not sad, it's awesome. I tell some of my teachers, which the school was like, please don't bring that up. But my science teachers loved me and would talk about yeast stuff with me. So I just fell in love with just the science of beer. And then graduated from high school, went to traditional college for about 6 months. And it was I was signing up for second semester classes, and I found out about a brewing school in England. Mm-hmm. And why pay student loans when I can go over to England and spend 9 weeks and learn how to make beer? Low key, thought I was going to be drinking a lot. Did not. It was 12-hour days, 7 days a week for 9 weeks.
Serious
stuff. It was the head brewer of Heineken, was the professor. But it was wonderful experience. Worked at 9 breweries in England.
Wow.
Came back to the United States, worked at 3 breweries here, mostly in the South area. And then throughout that time was recruiting future employees and investors. And then once I found this property in 2018, I was like, this is actually found the property in 2016.
Yeah.
And it was just getting the construction stuff set up took 2 years. And
as it does.
And that's how Grind City became a business.
So you opened then, it took 2 years to get it set up. It took 2 years to get it going. You opened, you told me, in 2020?
2020, yes. We got our permit to sell beer in April 1st, 2020, where the ABC office also told me we can't do anything with that license for short-term notice. So something else is going on that time around the nation. I don't like to talk about it.
Fair enough. You're we can put it in a frame, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Print it out, put it in a frame,
well,
your license.
I always say it can always be worse, so don't focus on it. Mm-hmm. But then October, things opened back up, and we were We were going to open up the second weekend of October because I didn't hire any bar staff yet or anything like that. And I was like, hey, I think we'll do a soft opening this weekend. Second weekend, we're good to go. And board was like, that's cute. Hire your opening Saturday. And I was like, all right, I got 5 days to hire full staff. And we made it work and had a great grand opening. It was, you couldn't have asked for a more beautiful day. I think it was like high of 70 something.
Perfect,
It was perfect weather. And everybody was working like crazy, but it was the early days in the trenches and it was great. So October 3rd, 2020.
What do you think? How many taps, like how many beers on tap do you remember if you opened with, like ballpark?
Oh man, I think we had 12 at the time. We have 17 taps, but no, I think we had 12 to 14 beers on draft at that time. We still have the menu printed off in the back of our opening day.
That's a lot for opening day, I feel like.
Yeah, it was. But the other thing was we have a brewery and we weren't allowed to do any brewery stuff. So it's like we should have at least 14 beers on tap for opening day.
You weren't able to do anything besides
We did a little bit of
brewing.
Wholesale in the back.
Yeah.
But like you're just making like 3 beers and hoping everybody in the world buys it. So it's like we had plenty of time to actually make some cool stuff and we were able to do that.
So what do you think your signature beers were to get started? Or what was the one that people really were coming in for?
Oh, man, this one hurts the most, too. It was Viva Las Lager. We opened up with Viva Las Lager. It was our gluten-free honey lager. So it was made just with honey. And we were selling it like crazy. And I was like, oh, my goodness. I was like, I did it. I hit the dream.
Yes.
And then... this isn't going to sound true, but it is. A bunch of honey brokers got in trouble, and some went to jail for laundering Chinese honey. Well, Chinese honey is illegal in the United States because it's not authentic honey. We were one of the biggest buyers of honey. After that whole thing went down, honey price went up so much. So we pivoted to let's make it a seltzer, more cool premium thing. We'll do different flavors. But the honey price just kept going up. And it was like, no one's going to buy a $20 six-pack of a 4% honey. Let's just kill it while we can. So,
you're right. It doesn't sound real.
No, it doesn't sound real.
That sounds like a whole true crime podcast in
it's
itself.
wild. I was diving into it. And then my... GM at the time was like, dude, let it go, man. Let it go. You're not going to fix it. I'm like, I know. We are going to bring it back like a limited release, I think, sometime next month. Just the regular lager, but man, that was it. We also had the God Hopper, which is still on draft today in the tap room. And we had Soul Beer, which was our nitro black lager, our version of Guinness, practically. And we still will have that on tap every once in a while. But now, after Viva ran its course, we put in our Poppies pills, and that came first. And then it's been, first ever since, is Poppies pills.
So events have been a really big part of the brewery of Grind City's identity, and I'm guessing a big part of the business too.
Yes.
This is not unique to Grind City, but I think with the special location that you have, it's very spacious, more so than a lot of other Memphis breweries initially were.
Yes.
In that first first or second wave of breweries that opened, maybe you're
third wave.
Yeah, second or third wave in there. So you have a space that I guess I'd say more so suited to hosting special events.
Yes.
There's a lot. I started to try to make a list of all the crazy stuff that you've done here, and which ones have I got? There's dog ones. There's music ones. We're definitely getting to music.
Of course.
But what are some of the ones that stick out to you as the biggest or the most interesting?
Man, that's a really good question. Because we started off just doing we practically started doing our own beer festivals.
Yes.
So every quarter we'll release, November, we do our cider fest now.
Yes.
We have 4 limited ciders, and we do... In spring, we have Fermented Reality, and it's 4 cool sours and 4 IPAs and all sorts of fruited beer and stuff like that. Well, then I was like, what else can we do? And we started doing, weddings, which is people will if people fall in love in the spot, they will get married at that spot.
Yeah.
So we started doing weddings, and of course with our view, people would just start getting married in the yard and then we started getting rehearsal dinners, and then we started getting very specific. We did a Dogcella birthday party.
Yes.
And it's huge. Well, then we did a Korean barbecue fest, and we had authentic Korean dances in the yard and a bunch of Korean foods. And
that was this year,
that
right?
was this past April.
Yep, April 2025.
And my favorite event we ever did, though, was this year. This is outside of the music part, because I am partial to Primus being here last August. That was one of my favorite bands, so that was awesome. But it was our New Year's Day. We punted doing a New Year's Eve event, and we did a Christmas tree burning event. So
this sounds vaguely familiar now.
Yeah, so we had we called the fire department, got the permits and everything like that, and we were like, hey, bring your Christmas tree out. If you bring your Christmas tree, we'll give you a beer ticket. Next, and we're like, if we get 30 trees, that's great. We almost got 80 Christmas trees, and it's freezing outside. The whole yard's packed.
Yeah.
And the fire marshal's just like, all right, you gonna light this thing on fire? I was like, I guess I will. And I didn't get caught on fire, but I was close. And we just had this giant bonfire. We got videos of my administrative director with a fire extinguisher putting out fires in spots. Kids are just dancing, I think we had a non-alcoholic cider or something like that. And I was like, this is awesome. Yeah. No one's drinking that time of year in January, but everyone's out here watching.
New Year's Day, there's people are let me dry out and watch these trees.
And it's you learn quickly, these burn really fast. It was I think the burst of flame went up in 30 seconds, and then the peak of the fire was done in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're spacing it out differently for next year's events. That'd be my favorite one.
You live and you learn. That sounds so fun. Okay, let's talk about the music, though. Yes. The music events, that's the biggest thing. You guys announced a big pivot, I think, last year, and kind of how you're doing things overall at Grind City Brewing. Can you explain that to us?
So it was this past May. It's internally, I've been struggling over this for a while, but internally and with the board, it was really... in May, we were deciding how much energy we're going to put into creating a music venue, if we're going to do a music venue. Because if we're going to do it, we're doing it all. We're all in. Yes. How much energy is that going to take? How much effort is that going to take? What other stuff are we spread out too thin? And then just kind of marinated on that, and we decided, we are spread too thin if we do that. So what we decided to do was just. We love these events. And Memphis doesn't have something like this, that it can have concerts and weddings and of this magnitude. And we'll have up to 5,000 people here. And we can still make our own beer. And we'll just pivot from selling beer to wholesale and just really doubling down on what we're really good at. And that's having, big, fun, exciting, memorable events.
Destination.
Yes.
Venue.
Embracing that we're a destination, because we are. If you're coming up to this part of, we're the only retail business. If you're going to go somewhere else around here, you're driving there.
Yes.
So there's no foot traffic here. So we decided to just go all in, and all wholesale production was pulled back. And now everyone's working on making sure that our tap room / when the construction gets going, that is fully operational, and we're allowing our customers and anyone who comes into the concert to have the best experience possible. So, and you can still buy our beer here in the tap room. Our tap room's still open.
Yes.
Regular hours. We still do have beer events here, but that's all we're doing now. So any packaged beer of ours that was at Kroger, slowly but surely will be deplenished, and then will not be there anymore.
Right. But you can still I know you can still get growlers. I'm seeing them here behind the bar.
Yes.
Can you still get canned beer here to take with you?
We will always package, for our concerts, it's just easier to can beer for the customer.
Yes.
Because you want to have a pint, but then somebody bumps you spill your pint.
Yeah.
So we always can beer for our concerts, so that all those beers we can for concerts, we will can and keep them for sale at the brewery. And also, we will be canning limited beer runs just throughout the year. It'll be maybe 20 cases, maybe 50 cases of a random flavor. We just did a butterscotch ale beer called the Snitch, and did about 50 cases, and that'll be running out any day now.
Any minute, maybe.
Any minute.
If I get into it. No, that's great. So talk about Grind City Music Festival.
Yes.
When was the inaugural event?
So in 2021 I met Nick Barbian of Barbian Management. He's been promoting live music for his entire life, and he came up here just to grab a beer and was like, "This needs to be a venue."
Yeah.
Comes me and him get introduced. We get along very well. And we get talking. He's like, let's test out if Memphis wants another one of these things. Like, I hope they do. Let's test it out. So it was August 2022. We had it was a bluegrass music festival, and we were not ready. About 2 weeks before, there was talks about canceling the show. Because something that I've learned being in this business now for a few years is that Memphis is one of the worst markets on buying early for tickets. We always buy the week of.
Yeah.
Because it's mostly a family town, and it's like, can I even go work? So Nick went to battle for us. It was like, no, we got to have this event. I'm telling you, it's going to be great. And the week of, thousands of tickets get sold.
Yeah.
And and the big thing was at the door tickets. We had, I forget how many. Way more than we had staff. And beer lines were 30 minutes long.
Right.
We were running out of flavors. It was also a music festival in August. Hindsight, not the best idea. But it was still, everyone had a good time.
Yeah.
No one passed out because of the heat besides the employees.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
So after that one, the regroup meeting after that was, so not in August. Let's not do that again.
Yes.
So then I get with Nick, and he's like, yeah, I agree. Let's not do August. What if we did the first festival of the year? So we did Grind City Fest 2.0. Took a year off because, we don't have the infrastructure built in yet. So it's very expensive to have this thing.
Yes.
So in 2024, skip 23, go to 2024. First Friday and Saturday in April, we have Grind City Fest. And this time we have Charlie Crockett headlining on Friday. We have the Red Clay Strays and Whiskey Myers on Saturday, and it was and 3 times the amount of people came out. We were ready this time, staff-wise. The weather was perfect, and it was, everyone probably worked 18 hours a day. Some worked, some didn't stop working, and it was just this is awesome. Now you're dead for about 2 weeks, but it was awesome.
But you did it.
We did it, and it was all right, the market's here. Let's do one more test. And what if we did a single concert? How would that be? And in August, we had Primus here on a Tuesday night. We had about 2,000 people here.
Yeah, but the Primus fans,
they'll
go anywhere, any day.
I know, they are the best. I was so excited. It was at one point, me and a few of my employees were literally just drinking a beer, dancing, listening to Primus. I was like, this is a pretty cool job we have.
Yeah. That's nice that you get to have that moment and reflect on it.
You got to enjoy those moments because they're moments.
So you did 3 tests of the Grind City Music Festival, mostly, if I remember, focused on a bluegrass kind of roots. There were a couple maybe Memphis acts in there mixed in on a couple of those. And then you announced Grind City Amp. Yes.
Well, because we want to do that full time.
Yeah.
We want to be able to have, we can create a good spot. There's little things, obviously, the more you do events, there's always things you can do better. And it's let's actually do those things. Let's put the infrastructure in so we can have more than just, let's hope the Orpheum can get a good band to come, can stop by Memphis. Let's build the venue that focuses on getting those bands. Because all these bands that are between 2,000 and 5,000 people, they don't really have a stopping point in Memphis. So they'll go to Little Rock before they come to Memphis. And it's really? Memphis is New Orleans, Memphis, Nashville. That's an easy 3-city tour. What are you doing? So we looked at the talent we could potentially get. It's oh man, if this was here when I was in high school, I would have been coming every week. So now granted, it's outdoors, bigger risk. So we'll probably be doing about 16 shows, that max 16 to 18 shows a year.
Yeah.
But now we'll have each one of those will be big concerts, high effort, high quality.
Yeah, on par with like the Primus test that you did.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I think that announcement was made in January or so, and we all know how long it takes people to get going with
of course.
all of the red tape. I mean, not to make you face that, but people do want to know, like, how's it going? How's the progress? Like, what's the timeline?
It is going good. I do believe we will be breaking ground. It used to be like next month. All right, next month. Now it's more like next week, few weeks. Like we're in the week range now of actually breaking ground. Contracts are currently being signed. Bids are being accepted and not just looked at. So like it's any day now. We're breaking ground, and it's kind of a short build. I mean,
knock on wood.
Knocking on wood. Currently, it'll be I'd say 4 to 6 month build out time, and next year we're having concerts.
Yeah.
It's like oh man, if we could have at least 8 concerts next year, which I think is possible, that would be excellent.
So if I'm looking out here now, and earlier I described it, and like I said, we've got your patio deck area, a couple steps down, I think, and a ramp down, and we have a beautiful little green lawn. We've got a fence. What is it going to look like in the future? Or am I looking in the wrong place?
No, you are looking in the correct space. The only other thing we're building that is not out there is we're building a green room for the bands. That's actually in the building. But if we're looking out next year, we'll have a cover on our current patio deck.
Yes.
Then so we can have drop some plastic, heat it up, cool it down, that kind of stuff. You will see a stage right in between the skyline. And that's kind of like the stuff that's like cool to see. Yes. Everything else is just like power lines, sewage, and routing and things like that. That's not as, important, but you're not really going to notice it when you're here. Are you
going to have seats, or is it going to be like open?
So we'll have seats, but they will be they'll be in a shipping container on site here. And depending on what kind of show we have, everything is set up, take down for the next few years, just to make sure we want as many possible options for shows. So if it's like, this band is a really standing concert, all right, pull the chairs.
Yeah.
Sitting show, we have the seats.
Yes, that's amazing. And it's like 4,500 or so folks that could sit more if they're standing, obviously. Okay, if I'm Taylor Swift and I'm playing here for 5,000 people who are paying
$100,000 a ticket.
I was gonna say 4 million. I don't know. I have no sense of like scale or space with an artist like her, Beyonce. But if I'm her and I'm playing, I'm in the green room here in the back in the brewery area, but I've got to get to the stage. You're gonna have to put me like in a custodial. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
People were joking about Taylor Swift being brought to the stage in this like custodial little like enclosed cart on wheels. Like, how are they gonna get to the stage? Parachute.
We have this really cool method. So we have a cannon. No, we have we actually have our back area blocks off the parking lot. And there's an entrance to our green room from there, unfortunately. We will get a cannon or maybe a Ferris wheel that actually drops them off on the stage. I think that's the end goal. A zip line actually would be ideal, because then when we're not doing concerts, we can just zip line.
Actually,
have a zip line.
We may be
onto something there. All right, that's our next move.
All right, well,
followed by the water park for the summer.
Look, I'm making a very serious face.
I know. I have kids. I need to do something with them in the summer.
I think people would be into it. Okay, so that is making me think and letting me ask. I haven't been out here in a couple of months, maybe longer, and that's because I am doing too much work, and I need to get out more.
Yes, you are. But
that's true. We all are.
Better than not enough.
That's so true. But what's going on with this like park over here? Like
the Green Line?
Yes, the Green Line Park. Like, tell me more about that.
That was the Community Redevelopment Agency, the CRA. We worked with them to get construction done here, and they helped us with the city on getting a lot of things done, like building Waterworks Avenue, which was a ditch.
Yes,
I think when you first came up here, it was still a ditch.
It was. There was horses, and it was
horses
ditch.
And a ditch. Yes, we still have the horses, but no longer a ditch.
That's good. Upgrade.
So, part of that was trying to make this, like, how do we build this in a way that can still there's still a community that lives here.
Yeah.
So like, how do we incorporate all of that? And they built this green line. They added a green line area from north front, and it kind of dead ends on, not dead end, it just kind of stops. They're going to add on to it, I think, in a few years.
Yeah.
But it goes to North Second.
Does it connect with the one at
Booker
Mud
T.
Island,
Washington.
or is this like a different one, or do you know?
It's going to connect.
Okay, yeah.
To my understanding, it's going to connect.
I'll pull up the map later, and if you check out the story that goes along with this episode on Saturdays at dailybamfman.com, then I'll do a little research and we'll confirm, like, where is this all connecting? Because I'm super interested in how all our green lines and greenways connect. Because it seems like a space that has a lot of, it looks nice, but it has a lot of potential as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another stupid question.
I don't
Where
think
do
these are
people
stupid.
park? Where do people park?
Oh, that's I lose sleep over this.
Oh,
it's
I'm
actually
so
my biggest
sorry.
nightmare.
I'm so sorry.
So we actually we usually have like we work with people around like property owners around us, and we'll like either lease or they'll just honestly let us use their property to park cars. Typically in the past we can probably park around 1,000 cars. We're working now to make sure it's confirmed, like we can park 2,000 to 3,000 cars on a consistent basis. And that's just working with the city, and also like we've done parking at Harbor Town before and shuttled around. So we long term, the next year we'll still have parking in certain fields, VIP parking on site. But we'll also have designated parking lots now, and where more people can park, and we'll just shuttle them directly to the brewery.
That makes a lot of sense. Have you been to other amphitheaters kind of this size and scale around the country that you liked?
Yeah.
Or that were an inspiration in some
way?
So
it's funny enough. We went to, he took me to Kansas City to see Ziggy Marley, and it was like about 2,000 people max.
Yeah.
And it was just Grinders. Yes. That was it. Really cool spot. Was a brewery, like had like beer and all this great stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, this works. This is cool. And we can even do it bigger.
Yeah.
That was a really cool thing that hit me, was like, oh, we can go even bigger with this. And after that, I mean, unfortunately, I don't get to go to many concerts these days outside of work. Yes. But that was a big eye-opening moment for me.
Last summer, I got a chance to go to Bend, Oregon, like Bend. And it's a beautiful place. And they have a big, beautiful amphitheater there. Now it's called the Hayden Homes Amphitheater, with the river and everything. I think it might be maybe a little bit bigger than what you're doing here, but I don't know. And that was a really cool space.
Yeah.
They also have like I said, a river going by, and so people will like paddle up to like hear music. I feel like they're like trying to cut down on it now, and I'm like, quit being lame.
Yeah,
like if people want to sit in a boat for a whole show, let them do it.
Let them do it.
Yeah,
it's a different experience.
Yeah,
and you're still as long as you're still selling your tickets. There is the unfortunate part of that.
Yeah, if it's sold out, let people come float up.
Also, it's just so cool that you could do that.
Yeah,
like you float up and watch a concert. That's pretty dope.
When you're talking about the plans for Grind City here, like it kind of makes me think of a place like that.
Yeah,
that the community's rallied around. Okay, we have a couple minutes left, and so I want to do just some fun questions, some top best recommendations. The top selling beer.
Poppy Spills.
Second top selling beer, like second most.
The Godhopper.
Godhopper. How did you feel when you made your first seltzer? And the seltzer craze.
I still don't drink seltzers. I still don't like them, but like I always looked at it as my job isn't to make you what I want to drink. My job's my job is to serve you what you want, or else I go out of business. So it was like, hey, seltzers are popular. And I was like, all right, let's make them.
Yeah. And you were like holding your nose. You were like, here you go.
Now like I'll have like up to 4 seltzers on draft at a time. And you can make them fun. Yeah. Some of them, they can be boring, but like embrace it. See what cool stuff you can do with it.
So y'all's food comes from food trucks.
Yes.
I don't know if you're allowed, but like, what is the most popular food truck, do you think?
It changes constantly. Well, what happens is we'll get a great food truck, and then they find a gig that is like more open with more people more often, and then they go, and they should.
Yeah.
So
and then you get the next,
and then you get the next
great
one.
Yeah.
Like it's good. Like a food truck's not going to make a lot of money at a brewery on a Thursday. I get it. I get it. But some of the best ones we've had in the past, obviously Cousins Maine. Anytime they come up, they bring a crowd.
And they're back.
And
they were gone, and now they're back.
Finally.
Yeah.
It's long. We missed you, Cousins Maine. I would say they're the one that brings the most people if they show up, but they also will bring people who will not drink any of our beer. They will come, get their cousins, and they will leave. It's hard to really pick one because there's been so many. And it's just like, you find good ones, you hold on to them until they find a better place to go.
But that's a nice spot for you as like a fellow small business owner to be like, here. Please, like build it out and then fly away and grow. Okay. I wanted to ask like an event idea that you wanted to do. Like you just got done doing a British child wizard themed event.
Yes.
Which weirdly we also talked about on last week's Soundbite story, not on the podcast, but in the story we talked about the same thing. Mm-hmm. So you just got done doing that, but you've done other like sort of offbeat ones. Is there one that you like want to do that you haven't done?
Man, that's a really good question.
I would
love to do like this would also involve the amphitheater though.
Sure.
Because like we've done so many things now that it's like we've done car shows, we've done antique shows, we've done vintage shopping, we've done like anything that I think of, but we haven't done like we've done comedy nights, but we haven't done like a 3,000 seated comedy night.
Yeah.
Because I love stand up. And I never get to see stand-up, and I know I'm going to see live music, so I would love for us to get some good stand-up acts here.
I always like to ask people, I want to get your topics, and it can be hypothetical from when you remember going on a date night. Because you've got kids, you're busy, this is just what's happening right now.
We change our dates.
Yeah. What date night ideas? Takeout, going out, restaurant recommendation.
Our thing is pizza. So like for our anniversary, like we'll have like my son was born like right before my anniversary, and then my first daughter was born right before our anniversary. Like their birthdays are so close, so we're like anniversary. If we're awake, we'll figure something out.
Sure.
And like I'll make a steak sometimes. We'll go to. We both love going to Porch and Parlor.
Yeah.
But like Valentine's Day, our tradition is I come home, I leave work early. Come home and we all make pizzas as a family.
Yeah. Love that. We're going to take a little bit of extra time because I really have to talk to you very briefly about this Lagarita.
Oh, yes.
This is the recipe exchange that you shared with Daily Memphian about a year ago. It's a beer-based cocktail. I'm just going to go through it quickly because I've got the info here. It's your Poppy's Pilsner lager. You've got tequila, you've got Cointreau because you prefer that over like a triple sec. When we're talking about a margarita flavor thing, freshly squeezed lime. What am I leaving out? What else goes in there? I feel like it's like simplicity is
very
strength.
Simple.
Yes.
Yeah, it's simple.
Okay, this made me think about my favorite beer-based cocktail, which I love, a michelada. Like since I first had one at Taqueria Guadalupana on summer, I was like, this is so delicious. I feel like you don't feel the same way, Hopper.
I really don't. No. Here's the ugly truth. I hate beer cocktails. I don't like any of them.
Fair enough.
Like beer and I like cocktails. I like them separate. I like a Manhattan on the rocks and I like a cold pint of beer. I don't like mixing the two. But I know people do. We still like for our events that we do weddings where they're like, oh, I want to do a beer cocktail.
Yeah.
And they'll work with our team and we'll create a special. We did that's why we canned a Moscow Mule. Like we've done Moscow Mules. We've done all sorts of different type of cocktails with that. I'm honest. I'm sure we've actually done a michelada at one of our
I'm
events.
sure that you have.
We've done so many now.
Your favorite beer?
My favorite
that you
beer
brewed.
I brewed.
That's what we'll end on.
Is it's actually Poppy's Pills, but not just because I drink it every day, but because the history of it. Because Poppy's Pills was I made it at home, put it in a keg. It was Christmas Eve, and my Poppy, who older, and then my late father-in-law, he was Pops.
Okay.
And then my Poppy is still Poppy, and they're all at my parents' house. That was the beer that was on draft. we were all drinking it and talking, and they were talking about their, old people health kind of thing. And my poppy goes, well, this is the only medicine I really need. And then it was like, everyone was looking at each other at the same time. It was like, poppy's pills.
Poppy pills.
And it was like, and that was actually the last Christmas that we were all together. So I was like, oh, it's really cool that like every time I drink a poppies, it's like, it's kind of cool that.
I love the idea that you made this at home, you made it in a keg, you brought it just for your family holiday celebration, and now
it's the number one selling beer in the tap room.
Yep. And then weirdos are putting tequila and stuff in
I
it.
know, people were just crazy. It's also it's actually the recipe, the Poppy's Pills recipe, I made it at brewing school with the head brewer of Heineken. He asked me if I wanted to make beer, if I wanted to sell beer. And I was like, yes. So we came up with Poppy's Pills.
Yeah. Por qué no los dos? Let me do it all. Well, this has been really fun to kind of go through this history of the last, however you want to say 20 years, 10 years, 5 years. A great history, and also talking about the future. That's always fun. Folks, you're listening to the Daily Memphian Soundbites food, drink, and dining podcast with me, Holly Whitfield, your host. Hopper Seeley here, the founder and president of Grind City Brewing Co. in Uptown in Memphis. If you're listening right now on WYXR, keep listening for the Sidebar Culture Show with Eric Barnes. Right after this, he's our Daily Memphian CEO. If you're listening through your podcast app, take time to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. We put out a new episode pretty much every single week of the year. If you're feeling frisky, you can leave us a review. Natalie Van Gundy, our very talented producer that makes us sound smart and cool, loves to read them. And I've said this before, but if you're feeling really wild, go ahead and email me, hwhitfield@dailymemphian.com, with guest ideas, questions, thoughts, and feelings. We're all here for it at Soundbites. Thank you again, Hopper, so much.
Thank you. It's been a blast.
Bye.
Bye.